gratitude and remembrance to the former Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Honorable Jose C. De Venecia Jr., for his able leadership and active participation in the Joint Legislative Executive Basis Council that paved the way for the enactment of Republic Act 7227, also known as the Basis Conversion Act, and thereafter the creation of the Clark Special Economic Zone, now known as the Clark Freeport Zone, for his genuine concern and legislative support to ensure the people, or the welfare of the people of Pampanga, for expediting proposed bills at the House of Representatives to implement speedy rehabilitation of Lahar ravaged communities, for facilitating the approval and immediate release of funds for the government engineering program in Region 3, specifically for supporting the people of Pampanga in their tragic period while clearing the way by a legislative ward for a brighter future of Clark and the province. The Metro Clark Advisory Council fully recognized these contributions that led to the fast recovery and general welfare. It is signed by the members of the Metro Clark Advisory Council.
Our friends in Pampanga and Central Luzon, I am very honored that I have this privilege to receive your citation for two things that helped transform the history of Clark and Pampanga and the Central Plains of Luzon. The first one, which I initiated because Pampanga and Clark were in the midst of great danger. And even the Lahar was already even threatening not just Clark but San Fernando, Pampanga. I had to make a move because, as I was telling Ping De Jesus, when my city was destroyed, the Bupan city was destroyed by the earthquake of 1990. President Aquino and Secretary De Jesus went out of their way to help me rebuild the city of Taguban. And we rebuilt it in 2 years, in spite of its massive destruction. So when the time came for me as a speaker to do something for Clark and for Pampanga, I couldn't do anything because Congress was not in session. And you know, it's impossible to call Congress to a special session. And I had to convince President Ramos to call for a special session to pass the law that I crafted, calling for a 10 billion fund for Clark and Pampanga, which I co-authored with Congressman Masapin and some other political leaders in Pampanga together with Brent Diao. Sabi ni Presidente Ramos, nakakaya yata ito. You will call for a special session, baka walang sumipot. Because the congressmen and senators were already on vacation. Sabi ko, maglalakas loob na lang tayo. Because we have to pass this law. And if we can pass it in 3 days to 4 days, then we can close the Congress again and everybody can go back on vacation. Thank God that in less than 72 hours, we in Congress working morning, noon, afternoon, and night, we passed this special law appropriating 10 billion pesos for the Mount Pinatubo Fund, for Pampanga, for Tarlac, for Bataan, and for Zambales. So we targeted the rebuilding and reconstruction of the entire central place of Luzon. And the next problem was, that was a law that would provide 10 billion pesos for the rebuilding and reconstruction of Clark and Subic and Pampanga and Tarlac and Bataan. But the problem was, we did not have enough cash in treasury to finance the 10 billion pesos. So we had to go to the banks in America and in Europe and in Japan to raise part of the 10 billion pesos, together with the Secretary of Finance and the Governor of the Central Bank, to fund this appropriation. And we had to make representations with the various embassies and the diplomatic missions in order to fund the 10 billion peso fund. So this was the story of the historic 10 billion fund, which rebuilt Pampanga, Tarlac, Zambales, and Bataan. And we emphasized that we create new satellite communities and settlements. That is the reason now why you see many mass housing projects funded by this special rehabilitation fund. Again, we have to give our thanks to our friend Ping De Jesus and President Aquino and former President Ramos for the implementation of these projects. And of course, my dear friend Governor Brangyao and Congressman Mayor Nasatin and the other political leaders of the country. The second initiative that I had participated in was the creation of the basis conversion law. I filed the basis conversion law even when the Americans were still here. Sabi sa akin ni Presidente Aquino, ba't mo pinapile yan? Hindi pa naman aalis yung mga Amerikano. Sabi ko, Madam President, suppose bigla silang aalis. Kailangan handa po tayo with a special strategic legislation that would provide for the immediate takeover of the U.S. military bases in Clark and Subic. But since I'm not from Pampanga, but from Pangasinan, my thinking was not just Clark and Subic, but also the transformation of Camp John Hay in Baguio, the economic conversion of Fort Wallace in La Union. So we were targeting the economic conversion of 4 places: Clark, Subic, La Union, and Baguio, the Camp John Hay station, and a 5th military camp, not an American military camp, but a Filipino military camp, the conversion of Fort Bonifacio into a satellite city. How did Fort Bonifacio enter the picture? Because when I filed the basis conversion law, calling for the economic conversion of Clark and Subic, we have no money to finance the conversion of Clark and Subic. So I said, to finance the conversion of Clark and Subic, we have to sell part of the military camps. And that military camp was Fort Bonifacio. So that the armed forces will not protest the sale of the military camps. Sabi sa akin ni President Ramos, baka magagalit sa akin ng mga generals at enlisted men ng armed forces pag pinagbili natin yung Fort Bonifacio. Sabi ko, hindi magagalit sila, Mr. President. Sabi ko kasi, we will also convert Fort Bonifacio into a new city. Kaya ngayon, nakita niyo na. We have now the new satellite city of Fort Bonifacio.